Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Madam Rajavi, distinguished guests, one and all, members of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, and especially those that are watching today from Camp Liberty, Salam Alaikum. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here today and join you in honoring and commemorating those 52 who were killed at Camp Ashraf in a massacre, and remind all that their sacrifice was not in vain. They are true patriots, true heroes, true heroines, and they provided an example for all of us in the room today and those watching to follow. However, I must admit it is also painful for me and others. You just heard from Secretary Ridge that the whole U.S. delegation, as we witness the ineptness of the President Obama's administration and our feckless and cowardly State Department in dealing with Camp Ashraf and now the ongoing crisis, humanitarian crisis developing at Camp Liberty. What about the U.S. promise to protect the residents? Why is the ambassador and his team even afraid to visit? It's been almost 5 months since the U.S. ambassador visited the camp. That is shabby even compared to the one visit just recently made by the UN delegation in the last 2.5 months. Why is it that they're not going out to Camp Liberty? Is it because they're afraid to witness the appalling conditions that those in Camp Liberty are having to endure? Is it because they don't want to see what the Iraqis are imposing upon them, like fuel sieges, being denied the right to remove sewage, the opportunity to attend a funeral, or the fact that the food and medical supplies are being denied? All of those were promised by Secretary Clinton and Ambassador Dan Fried, which were part of President Obama's administration. So we need to hold President Obama personally responsible for this lack of activity that's taking place at Camp Liberty. I cannot even imagine a cowardly U.S. ambassador hiding behind the walls of his embassy while 3,000 residents at Camp Liberty have to fend for themselves. Again, it's just not right. Between President Obama's lack of leadership and the U.S. Embassy's lack of anything in Iraq, it's almost enough to make you ill. However, it appears now that the Obama administration has recognized what many of us have been telling him and his administration for months, if not years, that Maliki was an Iranian regime puppet. And now that this has been proven true and we've witnessed him depart under less than favorable conditions, he has left Iraq in a shambles. And now we are facing, and Iraq is facing, the entire Middle East facing an even greater crisis from ISIS. We all welcome the arrival of the new Prime Minister, al-Abadi, in Iraq. However, it's now time to see if he's going to continue in the footsteps of Maliki, or if he's going to recognize the humanitarian crisis that's ongoing at Camp Liberty and step forward and provide leadership. First and foremost, Mr. President, you need to acknowledge that we guaranteed the safety of the MEK and start acting like it. And we need to say that an attack on the residents of Camp Liberty now constitutes an attack on America itself. Secondly, declare Camp Liberty a protected zone. Insert a special operations team. They're not afraid to go to Camp Liberty. Insert a special ops team out there to provide whatever is needed, including air power, to protect the residents of Camp Liberty. And at the same time, it sends a strong signal that Camp Liberty is a protected area. Third, quit cooperating with an Iranian government who has killed our soldiers in Iraq under the pretext of fighting for terrorism. The real terrorists are in Tehran, and the solution is to hold the Iranian mullahs responsible and accountable. The incumbent Iranian regime is not part of any solution. It is the problem, not only in Iraq, but throughout the Middle East. Quit accepting their meddling in Iraq, let alone their cooperation with it. We need to say that those are a red line. No cooperation, no coordination, and no sharing of information with Iran. That constitutes a red line that must not be crossed. Any attempt to cooperate in any way with Iran is betraying these 52 individuals at Camp Ashraf. President Obama, your administration needs to wake up and look at whose strategic goals in Iraq and throughout the region best align with the goals of the United States and the rest of Europe. And if you do that, you will see that unquestionably the Iranian regime must be gone. They must be displaced. They must be taken out. If you want to be on the side of victory, you must align yourself with the MEK. The mullahs see the alignment of Mrs. Rajavi's 10-point program with the democratic systems of Europe and the United States, which is one reason why they are so fearful of the MEK. Making their fears come true should be the goal of the Obama administration.